In 1950, it was the year that in Mexico City in the Aztec Canal, where a man named Don Santina had jumped into the raging water to save a poor little girl from drowning. Now, with the water being so turbulent and stuff, he had finally pulled the poor little body up onto the shore, and he found out that she had already succumbed to the waters. She had drowned already. And with her body came a little doll behind her, through the waters, and landed up on the shoreline. So he picked up the doll after he laid the body down and laid it next to her. And he was so overcome with grief for this poor little child that he had thought he could save, by jumping into the water, that he started putting up a doll, to, be her guide or whatever, in memorial for her. And as he lived in this little tiny island, it's called the Island of the Dolls now. And I'm going to tell you why it's called the Island of the Dolls. And most of you have probably already heard it, but heard of this storyline because several people have come and investigated it and explored it. And had put them on, like the Travel Channel and things like that. Ghost shows and things like that. It has done several spots to where they have had to move. The dolls have moved. But getting back to Santina was the man who pulled the little girl out of the water and put up her doll as like a little shrine in memory of this little girl. And he also put up a silver cross. Well, once he put the silver cross up, things started acting really weird. He sees shadows. Heard people screaming. He heard whispers amongst these dolls, because he figured if that one doll didn't appease her, that he would go and find more dolls. So he went into the city on his boat off his little secluded island, because like I said, he was a hermit. He had lived on this island by himself for years, and didn't have any water, didn't have any electricity, didn't have nothing. He just lived off the grid, and kind of probably lost his mind. Well, he went to the mainland and got all of these dolls and stuffed animals and broken toys and stuff out of dumpsters and garbage cans. And most of them, as you could tell, probably were all messed up, burned up. Some of them were missing arms, or missing eyes, missing heads. Some of them were just heads. But he'd bring them all back to the island to appease the spirits that he thought was haunting the island. Well, that didn't help, of course, because we all know that once you get into all these dolls are freaky anyway, right? And that's why I'm doing this series for you all, because haunted dolls is what kind of interests me, and I figured it might interest you. So this is the third part of it. I've already done Annabelle, and I've already done Annabelle for sure, and Robert the doll. So check those out. I've done those videos. But with this one, Santana kind of, lost his mind. He had one doll, and out of thousands of dolls, only one doll was named, and this doll's name was Augustina. Now, Augustina, she was wearing a green dress, and it was kind of frilly, like a frilly green dress. And it was kind of like they used to have walking dolls, a pretty big doll, like a child-sized doll, maybe 3 feet tall, maybe 2 or 3 feet tall. Anyway, This doll had a turquoise dress and she had glasses on, and he would talk to her, and she was his companion. She was his only person that he talked to. Like I said, he was a recluse from the city, and he more or less kept to himself. So with time, he just spent all of his time with her, and it was his companion. It was his protector, and she even had the gift of curing him. He said, if he got sick or anything like that. Now, as a child, we believe in our animals, our stuffed animals or our dolls. We love them as much. They take care of us. They protect us from bad. They're superheroes, right? I mean, this guy, he lived there all by himself for such a long time, and then he kind of like adopted this doll as his own. So in his mindset, he could have been seeing so much stuff going on the island, but like I said, there's so many ghosts shows that had come, explorers had come to the island and documented strange happenings, like the dolls would move, or their eyes would blink open their eyes, or they heard whispering or yelling or crying, seen shadows, things like that. And it's all documented on the Travel Channel, so if you'd like to see those, that would be great. As far as the Don Santana, he died of a heart attack. Now, supposedly he had died of a heart attack in 2001, and his body was said to have fallen into the canal exactly where he pulled the little girl out of the canal. Now, that is kind of a strange thing, like he was standing there at the river, maybe praying to the little girl's spirit, or maybe he was putting something by the cross that he had put up for her. Who knows, but he had died of a heart attack, supposedly, and fell into the water. And now there's a black cross, and in his name is on the plaque right there on the island. Now, he had put all of these dolls, not just in the trees, but on the ground, like they're sitting on the beach, or he put them in boats, or he put them in his cabin or his little tiny hut or whatever he had, shack, I guess. And they were hanging from the ceiling and hanging from the walls and hanging on the trees, and it just was weird, And by the time he passed away, there is 4,000 dolls on the island now. Now, each time a visitor would come, a tourist comes now. I mean, it's like a tourist attraction in Mexico City. And his nephew had taken over as the caretaker after he had passed away. The Don Santana passed away. And his name is Javier Romero Santan. And he gives tours. And of course, he allows people to go onto the island now, as long as they kind of be respectful and don't tear the dolls down or anything. And they must bring a doll to appease the spirits. Now, they hear cries and they see shadows and they see things, the dolls moving, talking or blinking their eyes or things like that. Now, is that our imagination? We go there. We would go there just to see these things and make it as we'd want to see these things, like their eyes move, or hear whispers, or shadows or whatever, just so we could have that experience. But I think it'd be pretty freaky to go and stand on an island with 4,000 dolls staring at you with their black eyes, just constantly staring at you. It'd be, I don't know. I'd love to go see it, but I don't know if I could. Could you? I mean, really, could you stay there for the night? Let's try stay there for the night. I think I would be brave enough, but I don't I think that's what the big word is, think. But would I be brave enough? I don't know. I don't know if I could stay the whole night there. But Javier gives tours, and people say that the dolls are talking and moving and everything else. And like I said, I would love to go there someday and see it. And it is in Mexico City, and on the Aztec canals. And you can take a tour there whenever you would like. Now, the reason why I picked the Island of the Dolls is today is Cinco de Mayo, so I picked that. My channel is Kindness and Light, and my name is Lisa, and I love haunted dolls. And if you love haunted dolls, this is the right place for you, because I will be doing this is the third part of the third chapter of the haunted dolls that I am doing in the series, and there will be more. The next one will be Peggy the doll, and she's pretty freaky too. Just by looking at her picture, you're supposedly going to have a heart attack. So that's something to look forward. Have peace and share your kindness and light. Peace.